Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I am very pleased to present today our Subcommittee on Emerging Threats and Capabilities portion of the fiscal year 2019 National Defense Authorization Act. I would like to begin by thanking all of the members of the subcommittee and the full committee for their contributions and enthusiastic participation in the hearings, briefings, and congressional delegations that we have held over the past year. As I said at our subcommittee markup, we have taken a deliberate look at some very significant issues within the subcommittee's jurisdiction, and we have done so in a united and bipartisan manner. I thank each of my colleagues on the subcommittee for their hard work and support. The Emerging Threats and Capabilities Subcommittee mark this year focuses on ensuring our technological superiority by providing the policies and recommending resources for programs that will energize our science and technology enterprise, infuse the department with a culture of innovation, strengthen our cyber warfare capabilities, safeguard our critical infrastructure, provide support for our special operations forces at home and abroad, resource and provide authorities to counter terrorism, and review and advance our preparedness to counter weapons of mass destruction. I am especially proud of what the subcommittee has been able to achieve this year in reviewing and understanding adversarial threats, most notably from China and Russia, while also maintaining our focus on emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence, directed energy, hypersonics, synthetic biology, and robotics. Our emphasis on science and technology carries two broad themes. First, the mark better organizes the Department of Defense to oversee, accelerate, and integrate artificial intelligence and machine learning across the defense enterprise. The mark will establish an AI Policy and Oversight Council and conduct a thorough review of the wide-ranging military applications of this decisive technology. The mark also recommends to the full committee an additional $40 million above the President's budget request for artificial intelligence and machine learning programs. These provisions carry many of the themes of the standalone AI legislation, H.R. 5356, a bill I introduced with co-sponsor Ranking Member Langevin and several members of the subcommittee that would establish a National Security Commission on Artificial Intelligence. Second, the mark builds upon previous NDAAs and advances prototyping and testing of directed energy weapons and hypersonic vehicles, and accelerates the operational employment of these technologies by recommending to the full committee today an additional $100 million. These steps will ensure our competitive advantage against near-peer and peer adversaries and maintain our superiority in these fields. In addition to the science and technology provisions, the mark strengthens our whole-of-government cybersecurity posture by establishing a pilot program that allows for improved coordination between the Department of Defense and Homeland Security to prevent and respond to cyber attacks against our critical infrastructure. The mark also reinforces international partnerships in cyber warfare to counter aggressive adversaries such as Russia, China, and North Korea. This includes support for our NATO partners to enhance partnered cyber capabilities and information sharing. The mark also recommends fully resourcing U.S. Cyber Command and service cyber programs and activities, and tightening the Department of Defense requirement to notify Congress in the event of cyber intrusions that expose the personal information of our service members. The mark before the full committee today also authorizes U.S. Special Operations Command's programs and activities, including ongoing efforts in Iraq, Syria, Afghanistan, Yemen, Somalia, and Eastern Europe. We extend authority for critical personnel recovery programs and strengthen congressional oversight of ongoing counterterrorism and sensitive activities. The mark will also streamline the department's oversight of countering weapons of mass destruction by creating a single principal advisor to the Secretary of Defense for these activities. To build upon the success of family support and mental and behavioral health programs within U.S. Special Operations Command, which this subcommittee has championed for several in previous years, we are encouraging the department to examine how the most successful elements of the programs can be scaled to the broader force to ensure our service members and their families are receiving the best care possible. We're also directing the Secretary to review professionalism and ethics programs across the Special Operations Forces to better understand any impact from the very high operational tempo after nearly 17 years of war. We recognize much of this burden has been carried by Special Operations Forces. Before moving along, I want to take a moment to thank Ranking Member Jim Langevin of Rhode Island. Jim, it's been an honor working with you in such a bipartisan manner, and I look forward to continuing working together. I also want to thank our subcommittee staff who have worked so diligently on the mark, including Staff Lead Pete Villano, professional staff members Eric Snellgrove, Katie Sutton, Lindsay Kavanaugh, and Jamie Jackson, our clerk, Nevi Shadler, and our fellow Dr. Mark Peppel. Thank you, Chairman Thornberry, and I look forward to discussing our ETC subcommittee mark this morning. With that, I yield back the remainder of my time.